Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, everybody. Just take a couple minutes to get everything sorted here, real quick. How's everybody doing today? Morning, Nikki. Let's get this thing going. Holy Reiki Healing is unable to join. What's going on here? Let's try and get you on one more time. Dana, what's up? Good morning.
Aloha no, I grew a beard.
There we go. Wow, Nikki, you looking. What's up, bro?
COVID-19 did a number on me, so I have some.
Hey, yo, what's up? Good morning, fam. Good morning, good morning.
Love you, my bro.
Love you, bro. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. What's up, Nikki? Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
We having a good morning? Awesome. Awesome. Well, what's up, everybody? It's Sunday, which means it is time for Papa ʻIke. And, yo, this is just going to be a continuation of last week's topic, which was the pros and cons of social media and your mental health. But we're going to be diving a little bit into its effect on children. More so, parents tend to just kind of like, oh, junior boy's crying. Here's a tablet or here's a phone and blah, 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 blah. But before we get into that, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I feel great this morning. I had a productive morning. I woke up pretty early. I like at 6, which I never do. I'm not an early morning person at all. I'm like one of the, like, for real, the grumpiest person you can ever meet early in the morning. Like, I don't want nothing to do with nobody when I get up. I'm just like, leave me alone. But I woke up early, went out for a walk, got some coffee, came back home, went out and got some exercise. So I had a productive morning. Two of my favorite peeps. Appreciate you, though.
Good on
What's
you.
up? Jerome's in here.
Because I woke up and that was it.
Hey, you woke up and that's all that matters, right?
Right. So let's
Right.
dive into this topic. It is a continuation of last week, but our main focus, we're going to be talking about how it's affecting our ʻIke and this generation.
Ilani, I see you in here. This is about you, baby girl. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
This really does hit home for me because it's almost like a continuous argument with my sisters and their ʻIke, especially that half of them are in their preteens and then the other are younger ones. So my whole deal with and my concern is that whatever you start, even from baby, like how you're saying, like you're crying, they throw you an iPad, phone. One, that should not be the first reaction.
No.
And two, for like my situation in that case, because they're like almost 1 to 2 years apart, and it just trickles down. It's like a domino effect. So whatever the older ones are doing, the little ones are going to think that that's okay.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it starts from the oldest one, right? Because that's all, we put everything in the older ones, right? To make
Right.
sure all the keiki after that are in line, right?
Just like everything else we do, we have to lead by example.
Right. But
Yeah.
also, I think the missing piece is not only what we teach, but what we believe in ourselves too, as like parents or aunties and uncles or whatever the case may be. Because I find it hard that like I will try my best because I get over not having a personal conversation with my nieces and nephews, and I'll yell at them like, get off your phone or look at me, give me eye contact, you know, so old school.
Yeah.
Like, give me eye contact when I'm talking to you so I know that you're listening to me. But if they end up going back home, and not saying that their parents are not paying attention to them, but in ways they're not paying attention to them, it would make no difference in their life if I'm over here telling them to go do certain roles, and then their home life, their main primary life, is telling you, be on your phone. I don't care. Don't bother me. You know?
Yeah. The primary figure in their life is just like, I'm busy. Don't bother me. I'm just on my phone. Don't leave me alone. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Go to your room. Go to your room. Yeah.
And it's also toxic if they end up wanting to spend time with you, and then you're on your phone. You know? How are you engaging when they are probably are giving you that opportunity and moment to connect with them? You know? And
Yeah.
it's sad to say that this generation has way more suicide and self-esteem issues, and also it
Yeah.
means 50-50 in my brain. Like, you have kids that are on the spectrum of being super confident, and then you have these kids that are just like eating away because they really engage and believe and take what happens in social media to heart in
Yeah.
their life. And um going back what you were saying last week, it really did start from like Zango or MySpace or
Ooh,
whatever, all
Zanga.
of that.
That's a deep throwback.
But that's where it really started from. Like, that's why I said, like, we're really grateful to know what it is to be outside and play, but have to evolve with the times.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but these kids are already having a head start, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, good, maybe they'll be IT techs or whatever. Like, they're going to be thinking next level shit. But at the same token, what is the balance? Because if they
Yeah.
so so what is the words I'm trying to say? If they're so attached to the screen, they will have zero survival skills outside. How to
Yeah. Exactly.
act with people outside that screen. And also,
Yeah.
it can give them a false confidence, you know, like when they say like Twitter fingers or whatever, like they have
That's
this.
gonna get them hurt out there if they talk the way that they feel so confidently to talk, behind the screen, and they think they can go out there and treat other people like how they do online.
But even in that, in some cases, which I've seen, is my own nieces and nephews will end up having this built-up confidence where they think that they can talk to me any kind of way, or
Straight up. Yeah.
social media ends up painting this genre of that as an auntie, I'm supposed to be the best friend and not the mom, or a second mom, or
Yeah.
whatever it is, or like, it's sad to say that they'll take TikTok's advice before my advice, and it could be the same advice, but because it's somebody famous on TikTok that's saying the tip of the day and whatever, and then I could say it in the same freaking sentence, but because I'm an adult figure,
Yeah.
a parenting figure, then it's like, oh,
Ugh. Yeah.
either
I don't want to hear from
or
you.
I don't want to listen to you. But we also forget that, like, our consistency as role models, as being adults, are so important in their lives, because if we're telling them to go ahead and like stay off your screen, and we're on our screen all damn day,
Yeah.
to us, what makes it, we have to also build trust with our keiki, you know, No matter if that's your kid or your niece or your nephew or somebody you just babysit, it's it's whatever we wish to see better in the world. We have to be better ourselves. You know, it always comes back to us. I'm self-reflecting. Because we can't be like I asked you, like, or what I said to Kavehi, like, would you want your daughter posing like that? Would you want men to be perving up on her like that?
Yeah,
So why are you
exactly.
doing the same thing and giving a high five like to that same type of person?
Straight
Like,
up.
I get we as adults have our own private personal times that we're going to be doing whatever is on that screen is on you or whatever it is, but make sure that it's not public knowledge on how you act and how you represent yourself.
Hmm. Straight
And
up.
uh and you can throw whatever you want at it too, like the topic and how you feel. I mean, I know you're an uncle too. It must you must see what I'm saying.
No, 100%. And like we're adults now, and you know, but we're also still born in that technology era. We saw everything come up, and we started on social media and all of that. And I I you mentioned the thing about you seeing a higher rates of suicide and stuff like that in in teens and younger kids and stuff like that. And I get it. I totally get it because the people that a lot of these kids, a lot of these teens choose to follow, kind of ties back into last week when we talked about um, the people only like to show the best, show all of the good times and all these amazing accomplishments and a lot of these kids think that I need to be like that. I have to be like that. I need this kind of material possession. I need to have this many friends. I need to have this car, these clothes. I need to be listening to this music. I need to make my hair this way. That's what's cool to these kids. And when a lot of these kids that the people that they follow, they don't realize that these are privileged people. They have these things handed to them. Not a lot of them worked for what they have. Not a lot of them had to go through the trenches and blood, sweat, and tears to get the material possessions that they have. And a lot of kids feel like that's so easy to get. Like, here's my hand. Give it to me. I want this stuff. And then when they realize, dude, I can't be like that, or other kids are making fun of me because I don't have the newest phones. I don't have the newest AirPods. I don't have the coolest TV or video games.
Or I got the
And
knockoff
that,
band.
yeah, exactly. Or Mike, I wear the same clothes every week, or oh man, like my hair is all messy. I can't cut it, or and that weighs so heavily on a lot of kids, especially with kids that don't have great support systems in their own parents or their siblings around them. So the only person that's trying to hold them up on their own 2 feet is themselves. And when they feel the pressure of acceptance, trying to find some kind of acceptance because that's what social media tells them they need, and then they can't get that, I get it. I totally get it. Like some kids, they can't like build their own self-esteem up, and they can't make their own judgments because they are so attached to what they see on their phones
Mm-hmm.
that they're led to believe that that is reality. That is what you need in life to be happy, and that's not the case. And like you said, you and I are old enough to know that. You and I are old enough to know that if we were crying or we were throwing tantrums, but we got lickings, bro. We didn't get sat in front of a TV or given a tablet or a phone to watch Frozen or anything like that. We were told, get your ass in a room or else I'm gonna give you lickings, or go outside and play.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, or go outside and play. And that shit was cool. That was like therapeutic for us to go outside and like make little mud pies and roll
Mm-hmm.
around in the dirt and just go running around and having our own little fantasy world outside. There is no intentional or supportive guidance to learn realistic expectations when keiki are being influenced by a person, influencer, content creator, character. That that's it right there, man. That's it right there.
But like you were saying, for me as like boundaries though, like my sisters do end up questioning like why are they acting like they would, or like why are they so spoiled, or why are they so materialistic. It's because you never ever set boundaries that way for the boundaries to come back this way, right? So like if you never set the boundary going that way of saying all of these things are privileges, they're not priorities, they're not realistic. Not everybody can afford it. Like when you do get it, there's value behind it. So understand that that iPhone or whatever, that's mommy's month salary or whatever. Like not saying that you have to instill like dollar signs in the kid's head, but understand like we also have to be like be able to explain it to them on a level that they'll understand that
Yes.
it's no
Yes.
different. Whatever work we put in, that's what we get out. That's what reward is. That's what a privilege to have these things, right? Because not
Yes.
everyone can afford it. And then if you as a parent don't want it coming back to you as your kid crying to you like everybody's teasing me because I don't have the new Nike shoes, or I'm wearing hand-me-downs, or whatever it is, it, if you don't want that pressure coming back, you have to really do build up your kid to make them confident of saying, hey, this is all I can afford and I'm comfortable with it. And I'm so glad that my mom is even able to put a shirt on my back, food on the table, and a roof over my head. So old school thinking of that's the three necessities that a parent should provide. But because there's so much missing variables of today that
Yeah.
we have to start putting those little, talking about it more, talking about it. That was one of my tips that I'll share later, is that in order to know where your kid's mental is at, you actually have to talk to them. And the only way that you're going to be able to talk to them is build that trust. Be able to have that safe space where they can ask you questions or share how they feel, whether it is getting bullied or not understanding why I don't have certain things. And honestly, I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so I never even grew up with a Christmas. So in that sense, I never grew up materialistic or demanding things or expectations. I didn't really even celebrate my birthday besides just getting a cake, you know. It was
Wow.
it wasn't a big deal. It was very humbling, and I still think it's humbling as an adult, because you don't know how frustrating it gets every single Christmas when I see my nieces and nephews Christmas list, and you see PS5, iPhone 11, or AirPods, and all of that. That but if I ever wanted a Christmas, I was even excited on random days because my mom worked at Toys R Us. I was so excited for those dollar toys that was at Toys R Us. Like
Hell yeah.
it just it blows my mind that I feel sorry for parents nowadays of the expectations of having to fulfill these expensive wants and desires, and and I can't. I tell them like I can't afford that. I don't know if you know that Santa Claus is not real, and majority of them that, and they do know that it's their parents' hard-earned money, or they just see aunties and uncles and like you have a job, you can afford it, but they don't get it. There's no value behind it.
Right.
So my sisters have labeled me freaking the Grinch every Christmas. I it's because I'm always the one that's like they're asking for like a million things that I can't afford, and you expect me to deliver. So at that
Right.
there was a point in time where I did an experiment. One year I did, frick, I'm gonna go buy them all $5 toys, and I'm not even gonna tell them what it is. And the kids ended up loving the freaking Beyblades. They're into Beyblades now because of me and all of that. Those were the memories that I remember growing up with, going outside and freaking battling in that stupid battle box thing with the Beyblades and stuff. Yeah.
Let them rip, boo.
But those were the things like I really wanted to give them a Christmas gift that was part of my childhood that made me feel like a kid, like their age appropriate thing, you know? Make it age appropriate. They shouldn't be having to like think about their haircuts and the stylish clothes. And you know, to me, it's a little bit shame in my head how I see how adults are dressing kids like they're adults already. You know, like where's
Got
the
you. Got you. Yeah.
cat? You know,
Yeah. Getting them all swagged out at 5 years old. Like,
it's cute. It's cute. I get it. I see it. I see why. But at the same time, then it ends up being like not only a trend, but now an expectation that that's how
yeah,
they
yeah, that they have to look like that all the time.
dress. And then
Yeah.
when you can't afford that kind of clothes or you can't live up to that lifestyle, goes back to energy exchange like we talk about, Nikki. If the kid had to work to earn errand I mean allowance to purchase what they wanted, uh value it more. Yes. And that was me. My allowance was $5, and if I really wanted something, I every week, even if it was $5, I'd make sure all my chores were done so that I can accumulate to get that one item that I wanted. And I'm so grateful my parents taught me that, because it taught me not only to value what I get, but it created work habits, good work habits, determination, being prompt, time management, making sure that I have it all done before Friday so that I can actually feel like I deserved and earned that $5. And that $5, I used to live in Salt Lake, so that monopool man would get my $5 every week, and I'd be having a feast. You know, like I'm just, it's just crazy. Like it's now like a almost like a entitlement of a handout where my nieces and nephews don't even really do chores for allowance. They don't. That doesn't exist in those households. But it's always mommy give me this, daddy give me this, and then it's crazy because now we're in a situation where even doing your homework is a chore or a hassle, and that
Terrible. It's
it blows
terrible.
my mind. It just blows my mind because it's I never grew up in that sense, and I don't know if it's because all of me and my sisters grew up. I'm not saying that we struggled, but my dad at one point was working 3 jobs and mama was working 2. The fact that we both saw our parents as hard workers and that we didn't want to be in a position to have to do that in order to provide for our kids and our future families, we made sure that we're financially stable, that we were learning from their mistakes. But sometimes that even has to be in a balance because we end up enabling the things that still need to be taught, for generations to generations. That
Yeah.
even though I'm making it easier for you to live, understand where my struggle is. And then that's where my sisters kind of unload on me. It's like, I worked so hard for all of this and none of my kids are grateful. Well, where did we go wrong?
Yeah. If you kind of look back on it, you can definitely pinpoint exact areas where things can go wrong. You know what I mean? And a lot of the things that, like you said, why are the kids like this, or why do they talk to me like this, and all of that is just a lot of the things that we enabled them to do. A lot of it is uh, putting them in front of technology and stuff like that instead of like really trying to spend one-on-one time with them and to build that like heart-to-heart connection with them, which allows them to have such an easier time to understand how how you see things and how you do things, and you can really teach them what you want to teach them, because when you give them access like 24/7 to social media and technology like that, what they're doing is they're learning from like hundreds of different people about how they should be growing up or how they should be living, and getting these unbelievably unrealistic expectations like buried in their brains, and their hearts are set on whatever they're watching or whatever they're reading, instead of like just being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of kids miss out on. They just miss out on just being kids, man.
Because they want to grow up and be adults already, and then before you know it, I think everybody makes that mistakes where we're too we're too quick to want to grow up and then realize that growing up and being an adult is not what we think. But it's because whatever they show us on Jersey Shore or whatever other reality TV, that it's about a party life. Like, I can't wait to grow up and be 21 to party. And it's sad because there's even kids now that are already doing that. Underage drinking, underage smoking, whatever it is, staying out late past curfew. And then we question why are certain kids passing away too soon because they're going out, being in the wrong scene, or whatever it is. But it's like that line. Where do we draw that line of being a parent and being a friend and allowing your kid to know when to be a kid and be an age appropriate and doing age appropriate things without being controlling and possessive, or where whatever the yin and yang to that, like.
Right. And it was so much easier for us to be parented and to be taught things in the 90s, compared to now. I would say even like being a parent starting in like 2000, like mid 2000s, and all the way up to now, it's such a harder job to be a parent, to be honest, because there's so many other distractions in the world. There's so many other things that are so easily accessible to kids now. It is harder to be a parent now, and I guess that's like where my own fears would be, in being a parent is, would I be able to, for lack of better words, protect my kid from what's out there? Because I know what's out there. I see it every single day. But would I be able to like keep my kid like grounded and keep them like, and but it's like it's just hard. You can teach your kids and talk to your kids a million times a day, but it's like the second they just pick up their phone and they log on to that, it's tough. So I think it makes a big difference when, as a parent, I'd say like when a good tip, I guess. I don't have any tips because I'm not a parent. I've never been in that role. I know you have when it comes to watching your nieces and nephews. Like monitor your kids, man. Like put a monitor and restrictions on what they can look at or what they can watch and listen to on the phone, because it is so hard to just give them unrestricted access to everything that's out there, because they're just going to see all that and just be like, wow, there's so much cool shit out there. And they just they get lost in it. And they get lost in it, and they like I said, they just forget to just be kids, man. It's so much fun being a kid. And that's a lot of these young kids these days forget, or they don't realize that being a kid is like one of the most fun times of your life. And don't get me wrong, like being an adult and being able to do adult stuff is like pretty fun too, but you never get that untainted joy of just being a kid and being able to learn things and be around your parents. That's one thing too, man. It's kids don't realize that the older they get, so do the people that are already older in their life too. 1 second, like there's a lot of kids now that have like really older parents. There's some older adults out there having kids these days. Like friends of mine, like they're in like their 50s and they like had a kid. You know what I mean? And like that kid's like young and like I'm so sorry, like there's no other way to say it, but that kid's kind of like a dick. You know what I mean? Like to their parents. And it's crazy because you lose. I have my opinion. Do you guys think if parents nowadays had more time with their kids, the kids wouldn't be on social media and technology so often? I'll let you handle that. That's a great question.
I feel like it's 50-50, especially if we're talking presently, because let's take the pandemic, for instance.
That's a good comment.
Perfect example. You had no choice but to sit down with your kids, school them, figure out whatever else is going to happen extra after that, whatever. You were with your kids 100%. For the people that weren't deemed as essential workers, right? Can I say that if I'm using my family's experience, did it promote more time with each other? No, because at that point you had to shift, and that shift is now not normal, and that now new normal is your brain's not programmed to spend that much time with your kids. I feel like everybody has this thought in their process of like, I'm gonna have a kid, I only really got to worry about them until they're 4, because if I can get them into preschool, preschool is going to watch my kid at 4 to 5, and from 5 on, I'm going to have these teachers watching my kids for 8 hours of the day, so I can go to work and only have to worry about them from 3 to, let's say, 6 o'clock, where we're having dinner. And between those hours, they're supposed to be technically doing their homework, and from 6 to 9, because they only have 3 more hours, because their bedtime is at 9 o'clock, because that's what I programmed them. We're usually probably on our devices separately instead of doing something family oriented. So yes, if the parent has that mindset of being present with their kid and interacting with them, meaning, like I was saying, your actions, you cannot be telling your kid, do as I say and not as I do, because if I'm on my phone and my kid is doing nothing, watching me be on my phone, that's what we're teaching them. We're not interacting with them. We're not offering them anything valuable in that sense neither, you know. And it goes a long way, you know. Like, I feel like everybody's in this programming of just, that's how life is. You get your kid to 4 years old, preschool, kindergarten, sixth grade, middle school, high school, push them to college, so then I still don't have to pay attention to them, you know? Or some parents are like, you're 18, get out of here. I don't need
Get
you.
the hell out of here. Yeah.
There's so many different scenarios that the question, it really is just depending on your situation. Like, there's not enough consistency in the world that there's parents like that will be hands on like that, or want to be. But yeah, it's really, and I think that's what happens, because there's so many different types of lifestyles and situations. That's where all these different opinions of how people act and whatever, you know, like, those are the variables that are out of our control once our kid is out of our presence, you know. And it's going back to what you're saying, you know what I mean? We can only control what's in our proximity, right? Same with me. When I have my nieces and nephews, I'm only in control of whatever is in my proximity. When they're on my time, they know that I have certain rules and boundaries that I would prefer them to do and, you know, abide as being respectful. Speaking of my nephew, Aloha Makana, he is
What's up, my guy?
he is definitely a lot of the examples that I speak of, you
Don't
know.
go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. You're in this now. She's speaking directly to you, my guy. Don't go nowhere.
The one that I understood, and because I ended up putting too much energy, aloha no, I ended up putting up too much energy and too much emotion and too much investment in my nieces and nephews as a parent instead of being an auntie, and I had to then set new boundaries for myself for that, because when I'm trying to, like, shape the life into them, I'm saying, like, pay attention, you know, like you're doing this to your mom, then, like, you should really stop, or whatever, or like, that's not reality, or trying to give them that reality check. Sometimes it's too far gone, you know, too far of a reach for me to pull them back in. So my new concept on how I deal with any of my nieces and nephews is just simply now teaching them consequences. I tell them, this is what you're doing. These are the consequences. I am not in control of your choices. Your choices is yours. I make sure that they understand they have a choice in their situation. They don't always have to go what people are doing. There's a different choice. Like, I feel like that's the seeds that I can plant in their brains, is that it's not just one way. It's not just social media. It's just not what you see at school. It's not that. It's not this. It's not that. Whether it comes to sports, relationships, schooling, whatever it is. Like, me and Makana have major talks about relationships, because right now that they have to be in one, you know. And if I look back, and I always tell him, I was like, you know, if there was one thing that I could take away in high school was probably just not focusing too much on wanting to have a boyfriend, even though like my boyfriend was never like a boyfriend. He was just like a label because I wanted to be in, you know? It it if I would have just put a little bit more of that energy, take that energy and put it into my schooling, I probably would have been more focused and probably would have been on a different path where I'm not focusing on the nonsense of getting heartbroken and all of that. But it also teaches you something. So that's where I go back to consequences. I said whether you go to path A and path B, they both have consequences, they both have pros, they both have cons, whatever you want to see. But remember, choose your hard. Choose the hard you want to live. You want to choose the good path that the hard that you're going to get is being told that you're the black sheep out of everybody's trend. That's cool. If you live in your truth, that makes you stronger. But if you want to be a follower and go down that path, and let's see where it lets you end up. You know what I mean? Some people end up pregnant,
Right.
up dead. Some people, there's so many consequences to your situation and your choice, you know?
Right there. You just hit it on the nail, Cole. Effort equals success. If we put the effort in making the choices that we have, like you said, we will succeed, good or bad. Hell yeah. Having
But
a special needs, amazing child has really changed everything for Rod and I. We will be unschooling Reef very soon, and we know it'll take a lot of work on our part. We ready. That's dope. I have a question for you, Nikki. This is something that just popped in my head. I usually never have any questions.
shoot.
Do you feel like sometimes people just use their kids as a prop for social media?
Yes.
You you, you want
No.
to you want to dive into that?
Yeah. And some
Because I trust me, I've seen there's people that I follow or like girls that I know
if you
that
make
just like
good success, bad choices, you'll get bad outcomes. Yes.
yeah,
Plain and
simple
simple.
as that. It's plain and
Yes, we're
simple.
gonna laugh because
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
that is speaking to me.
They're talking to you, boy. Hell yes. But yeah, okay, so like I see so many girls that will like put their child on a little pedestal here and like pose and like use them as a prop. Basically, you know what I mean? But then behind the scenes, I know that kid's miserable. You know what I mean? I know that that kid's like not having a great home life, but like but almost every day it's just like, my daughter or my son is like blah 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 blah. This the greatest God gift given thing on the earth. He's a magical angel, but behind the scenes, that kid's getting treated like shit. So
Okay.
how do you feel about people that just put their kids on a pedestal like a prop for the use of just recognition or just more likes on social media? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna get a little bit vulnerable here, and I'm gonna tell you my life situation.
Go ahead.
I am trying to have a kid. So when I see, and I'm struggling, and I also had a miscarriage. So,
Can we please talk about how they be dressing up their kid like the man that left them with the kid?
uh, uh, so having a miscarriage and then seeing whatever kind of parent, girl, guy, whatever, do that, it does strike a nerve on you because it's like that's not what the kid is meant for, right? But the healer in me understands that maybe that kid was meant to be in their lives for a reason and to teach them a life lesson. And that is none of my business on how I judge them for how they choose to live their life. Do I have empathy for that child and come to conclusions of what you're saying where I know for sure that kid's not living the best life that they think that they are? Yeah, of course. I definitely end up going to those same conclusions. I don't feel guilty for them uh, because I have I know that I have to acknowledge my negative thoughts and allow them to be because that's part of me too. We have bad thoughts and good thoughts, but I guess it strikes a nerve for me because I'm trying to conceive and I've
Yeah.
already been that type of parent role for my nieces and nephews that I always have this high expectations of of what I think parents should be doing, but at the end of the day, it's none of my business. It's not for me to judge, and that I have to leave on the note that that's their life lesson. That whatever they are currently doing will catch up to them. I have no, me adding my 2 cents will not change that poor kid's life situation, will not
Straight up.
change, and it probably won't change that parent from praising their kids as if they praise them off the screen, that like they do on the screen. So, meaning I cannot be emotionally attached to that. I have practiced and learned that it's and like if people end up telling me that, I tell them the same thing. Oh, that's none of my business. That kid's probably in there like to teach them a life lesson. Just
Well
wait.
said. Well said. Yeah.
Wait until they grow up. Wait. Kids are so smart. The thing is, we don't give enough credit to kids. Just like if I'm going into energy work, that's why people say they can see things. They're sensitive. They it's because nothing is blocking them from receiving, whether it's imaginary friends or whatever it is, whatever. They have nothing is programmed into them until their parents program that into them of hurt or love or whatever. All of it is foundation of what is being taught to them. They come into this world a clean whiteboard, okay? So just know those parents are writing on that whiteboard what the kid's gonna see, right? But then at one point of time, that kid will end up looking at their own whiteboard and start making choices, whether they want to feed into it and be that identity that they are being written out right now, or they want to erase it and make something completely different. And that's how like generational curses or blockages, whatever, that's how it all comes out, or your inner child.
Yeah.
Like that's how it ends up trickling down to the next generation. So again, even though I do have those judgmental thoughts, my last thought of it always is that baby's gonna teach them something. And
Yeah.
that is gonna be the best teacher of their lives, because they're gonna be in for something that they weren't ready for or they needed to learn. And even it goes to the same extent of where we even judge like, oh my God, they're having another kid. They didn't even
I'm
think
sorry.
that.
I am extremely guilty of that, and I've learned to like calm down on that. I'm terrible at that.
But we just have to accept that that's not our journey. And if
Yes,
and
that's
how
it.
we're gonna allow it to affect us, that's the narrative. If you're gonna allow that post to affect you, then maybe you should unfollow them. Like our other conversation we have
Yeah,
about
exactly.
uh,
Like, why follow somebody that you don't agree with? Like,
because it's okay, you know. And if that kid is in a close proximity to you, if that's a family member, all you can do is when he or she is in your presence, love on them. Send them a lot of love and light and make sure that they know that even if you guys don't talk daily, that you're there to support them 1000%.
yes,
Because
facts.
if their parents are unable to guide them in the sense that they need guidance, then maybe it is you. It is your calling. It is your kuleana to just plant the seed, not to overstep their parenting. Because again, like I said, you can do all of these good things for this kid, but if you're gonna go back to chaos, what did you do it for? Nothing. You wasted energy on it.
It's wasted energy. That's it. Yeah.
So just continue to plant the seed in whoever's heart that you can touch, because you're gonna be that last note of, oh, I remember my Uncle Genesis. Yeah, he told me something like that. It's going to stick with them regardless. Subconsciously, it's gonna be in their back of their head, knowing that they have somebody. And sometimes my own sisters are upset at me that I have a better relationship with I call them my keiki, my hanai keiki, because I'm just able to say, like, I'm not going to judge you for what you're doing, but just know, yes, purpose. Thank you.
Purpose. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I don't talk to him a lot, and I don't try to scold him, but I know every conversation that I have with him, I'm planting something that will trigger him later. That I will be that little angel on his shoulder, like, my
You
auntie
should. You
I
sure about that, boy?
yeah.
You sure you want to do that, boy? You sure you want to say that?
And I wish my sisters could have that same trust and genuine connection with them. And I'm not saying that they don't, but I just come from an angle and they always end up, Nikki, your nephew is doing this, and that again. Of course, I'm gonna be the one like, okay, what's going on? Why are you doing it? What
As a
can
parent, I feel like I'm the only light to shine light on my mistakes and my success to my kids so that they know to be better. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't read that. Than I was knowing how dad fell short and had occurred. Then that's it, bro. That right there is just an amazing quality to have as a parent, bro. And I feel like that's such a great goal to strive for as a parent, especially in this day and age. A lot of us didn't have a lot growing up. A lot of us have been through a whole lot of stuff. We've gone through a lot of just bull growing up, man. Some of the hardest times. A lot of us didn't have a lot. And yes, absolutely, we should definitely be striving to give our kids a better life than we had. Um, there's some parents out there that I know that like, or where there's people out there that judge other kids that have more than we did when we were kids, and like that doesn't make any sense to me because our responsibility as adults, or as being older, as just being older, is to make sure that the kids around us, the kids in our life, have better upbringings than we did, and have more to latch onto than we did as kids. Because, but at the same time, ins- installing that knowledge in them to use the things that they have for good. You know what I mean? And so it's just like I don't really understand when people get pissed off that, oh, that kid's got this and this. But I mean, like, it's just like being able to allow them to use it in moderation, or use it in better ways and smarter ways. And we absolutely should be striving to give them more than we had. And that's definitely not what we're seeing throughout this whole thing. Is not that they shouldn't have that, but it's just being able to, you know, help them use it in better
balance?
ways.
Yeah, balance and guidance. Balance and guidance.
Yeah,
Guidance. They need to
we
have a
got.
little outside and inside. Okay, cool. They have
Yeah,
to have guidance with it. Maybe this is not the thing that you should be watching. Maybe attract more things that you want. And like, there's no difference of me preaching to like adults saying, watch things that you want to attract. If my son, my future son or daughter wants to be a firefighter, for God's sakes, like, show them more firefighter stuff. Like, build their manifestation with them. Like, make them feel like, or like show them like this is, and even that, not to scare them from their dreams, but show them if this is what you want, this is your dream, this is what it comes with. We can do that at a very young age. That's what's going to empower them to want to be goal driven, to be motivated, to feel like they can conquer the world in a more positive aspect. But
yes.
if their goals is only to be TikTok famous, what is that saying? What is that saying?
Hey, so we got about 10 minutes. I know you've got some fire tips on there. So,
Oh,
dude, go ahead and just like fire away all your tips.
okay, so a lot of
Spoil
it.
them with humbleness, not arrogance and ignorance. That's my goal as a dad, bro. Mic drop. That's facts.
So a lot of it is we kind of went over. First tip was, as an adult, make sure your words and actions are aligned with the rules that you set for your kids. So that's how you're gonna build trust with them. That's how you're gonna make you're their foundation. You're their model. They watch more than they listen. Remember that. They watch more than they listen. Just leave it out there. Leave it at that. Um, Screen time monitoring. Check in to see what they're watching or what they're doing on social media platforms. Make sure that it's age appropriate. And make sure that they're talking to age appropriate people. There's so much pedophiles, there's so much sex trafficking going on. Make sure that you are protecting your kiki in every single way. Make sure they know and you know that they are not makana, adding people that they don't know.
Yeah, that just called him out. Makana, hey, she's being
For,
real, bro.
for the sake of your protection, because anybody can pretend to be a 12-year-old little boy or little girl.
Yes,
It
yes.
could be a 40-old man. Um,
No kids should be out there listening to Cardi B. Just saying.
use your devices as rewards. Teach the concept that electronics and social media is a privilege, not a priority. So
Uh-huh.
it's okay, like you're saying, it's not that we're saying take away the devices. Let's say I'm going to be with you and finish your homework, and then that's when I'm going to reward you with your iPad, reward you with
Yeah. Make
whatever.
them make them earn it. Make them earn it. Make them work for it.
It's like an allowance, just like money, whatever.
Yeah.
It's you have to. It's a give and take, an even energy exchange. Um, this is for me, and this is my thing that I will set for myself as a parent too, is to sign up your kid with extra curricular activities, get them outside.
Basketball. No, I'm
Um,
just kidding.
whether it's but whether it's sports, they might not even be athletic. Do
Yeah,
art
yeah.
class, whatever it is that makes your kids shine, sparks, whatever sparks their interest, get them into it, because once you show them that they can live without social media and devices, and they can be active and pursue something and express their creativity that way and be an individual, or even team sports, be a team player, that's how you're going to create better morals and better beliefs in your kid. um Engage with your kid yourself, family time. The only way that you know where their head is at is if you get involved with them. And one thing that my family used to grow up doing was going to the beach every Sunday. It was a ritual. So start rituals. Start something that your kid is gonna look forward to at the end of the week or the beginning or whatever it is. Or like, um, every Sunday I know I'm gonna go to a beach or something, or I'm gonna go fishing, or I'm gonna go wherever,
Hey, right there. Yeah.
or
Levite Ohana. That's it.
or every Saturday, me and mom always walks to the farmers market. We pick the best fruits or whatever. Those are tools and ways you can also create memories. And your kid,
Yes.
thank you for that, especially for like situations where they're having kids at 50 years old. Probably might not have a like battery life on that, but it's what we do with the quality time that will make the quality memories, you know?
Yeah.
And have regular talks with your Keiki is probably the best way to inform them on what they're watching on social media, especially when it came to elections and Mauna Kea and Black Lives Matter. It's okay to expose them. They're now more aware. They're more aware of the world and what's going on. They're getting outside of their head. They're getting outside of their circle, which is great. They're being informed of life situations. But if you do not help navigate through that and make them understand where the anger comes from, where the hurt comes from, as like even Hawaiian people when it came to Mauna Kea or Black Lives Matter, why they were so raged, why was that negative energy projected instead of what the positive take back was? We have to teach those things. They're not going to learn it on their own, or you cannot just expect them to know what's right and wrong. You have to give them tools to make sure they're able to navigate through situations and decide for themselves whether they want to be a Democrat or a Republican, or however you want to mold them into being a better person, a better citizen, a better human being, a better energy, whatever it is. We have to guide them. They
That's
do not
that's
have a map of life. They do not know how to do life. We gotta teach life. We gotta also live life. We gotta be in it, present. We cannot be stuck in the past or focus on the future. We gotta do what's in front of us now. Clean that off of our plate before we decide to grab another dish. And
yeah.
that's all I got for that.
That's awesome, man. We've brought it up, or it's been brought up in like I think all four of our sessions now. The elections and Mauna Kea and Black Lives Matter and all of that. And I think that that should be our next topic, man. As like that's a heavy one. And that's a really heavy one, and especially because we center everything around like mental and emotional health. That's such a heavy one because that was such a hard time for me going through this whole process, and I know it's been a hard time for everybody. So I think it the next topic kind of gives itself there. But man, this social media topic, I feel like we've covered it all, man. We've touched a lot of the bases, relationships, your own expectations and our children and just basically I am so happy with how our topic went, and I'm glad that we extended it another week because there's just so much to cover when it comes to social media. You have some amazing tips. I believe I had posted last week's tips. Um, I'll go ahead and share the tips that you just shared with all of us as well. And before I
And
sign off, yeah,
I
go ahead.
here last week, but again on Netflix, The Social Dilemma. If you
Yes, yes, yes.
it definitely gets you thinking in a different way. Not I'm just encouraging people, if you want to check it out, check it out. But that definitely was an eye opener on everything we just talked about in the last two Sundays, this Sunday and last Sunday. So
Yeah. Again,
um,
guys, mahalo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Amazing comments. Thank you guys for all the input in the comments. Koa, Strawberry Sangria, Makana, my brother.
oh, Britt, thank you for sharing,
Yeah,
especially.
Rick. Thank you guys so much. You guys make this such a more enlightening experience for the both of us. And I don't, or speaking for myself, I don't come in here prepared at all. I don't do no notes. I don't do nothing. I'm sure Nikki does a lot of research and whatnot going in. So thank you for, keeping everything structured. And I just like to vamp off of all of your, what you say and all of that. And again, I think this is our fourth session now. So just thank you very much for having me on here and
No,
um,
thank you for
giving each other, yeah, giving us each other this platform to speak like this. This has been awesome, and it's something that I really do look forward to at the end of the week. A long, in my line of work can be really stressful, can be really long, but at the very end of the week, I know this is something that I look forward to because I just get to let everything go and just have a great heart to heart with you and everybody else that participates in here. I get to go back and really dig deep in a lot of the experiences that that I had to go through, and I don't have to just like keep it all bottled up. Being able to use your own experiences to educate the masses is crucial, and it's great to just talk about it and use that knowledge to just help uplift others and educate other people down the line. So again, thank you so much, and thank you guys for tuning in. If we really do go with the next week's topic on what we just talked about,
what to
it'll be
funny events. How about that?
it'll is about the events that had happened over the last couple of years. Man, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be rough because it, yeah, it's personal for me on multiple levels. But you guys have an amazing Sunday. You guys have a whole day ahead of you. It's a beautiful day here on Oahu. So go out there, go do something. Go be productive. Go do something. It's a beautiful day. As for me, I'm probably just gonna, I don't know, just do this. But to say, I already had my productive morning. But you guys take care. God bless. I love you all.
Oh,
I'll see you guys next week. Thank you, Nikki. Aloha.
mahalo.